Okay, version 10.4, new feature added. It's a curl indicator. The curl indicator is located right here. We're like curl, this is 30%. So what the curl indicator is the amount of curl it models and lets you know the amount of curl required to keep your ball flight as straight as possible. So first thing to mention is that the modeling estimate is best at long irons, at the far range of the long iron, close to max, into your woods, and all the way to max driver. The model starts to break down, if anything, less than maximum long irons. It's possible I could model it all the way down back to a wedge, but it really starts to change drastically as you start to shorten the ball. Starts to stay a little more constant at those long ranges. So how it works is, let me see. Let me put a wind direction. So it will only work is if you utilize a wind direction model. So let me change it to say 90. At 90, it's telling you that you need 54% curl to keep your ball flight as straight as possible. If it was a 45-degree tailwind, it's telling you need about 41% curl. 20 degrees, 21% curl. Even if you're in a headwind, it'll tell you 1 through 5, 41%. Now, what this percentage means is, let me show you. There'll be some curl images, and it's included in the calculator that correspond. And it kind of gives you a visual indication of what the curl should be. So 10% curl is equivalent to inner wall curl. 20% curl is halfway between inner and outer wall. 30% is outer wall curl. 40% is outside of the wedge, which is right over here. 50% is half ball, where you can also focus on this trail, or the trail is just inside the top corner of the wedge. And then, let me see if you can see the 60%. No, you can't see, so let me move that over. And so the 60% is where the trailing edge, the edge of the ball trail is right at the outside edge of the wedge. And the 70% is now the wedge is inside the ball trail. So I'll say that's why I call it wedge in trail. So I'm using a grid, but if you don't have a grid, it would be pretty easy to see. It's pretty easy to remember. You remember it as 1, 2, 3. 10% is inner wall, 20% is halfway between inner wall, 30% is outer wall. So 10, 20, 30. Inner wall, halfway, outer wall, right? 40 is right at the outside of the wedge with your ball. And then 50, 60, 70 has to do with the wedge in your trail. So 50% is either half ball or the wedge is just outside of the trail. 60% is a wedge and the trail are exactly equal. And 70% is just in. So that's how I would remember it. That's how I remember it. 1, 2, and 3 has to do with inner and the outer wall. 5, 6, and 7 has to do with the wedge and the trail. And 40% is that your ball is matching with the wedge. So that's how it works, but let's see how and when it can be useful. So let's go to some play. Let's take a look. So I have this one. And so let's take a look. So this is live recorded play. So this is tour 10. You can see I'm ready to input the angle. Auto entry has put in the information already for me for elevation slider. So 80-degree wind direction, 75% strength, but the curl is saying 32%. So I'm just gonna set up as a straight shot. I'm not gonna really rely on secondary wind effects, so I'm looking for the ball guide to go pretty much right at the hole. I'm looking to make my pull. And so now I'm putting counter curl, and the counter curl input is 32% of curl, which is outer wall, or just past outer wall. And so it's trying to make the ball flight as straight as possible. So let's go back. Let's take a look. So let's look at the curl. Okay, so that curl is just outside of the outer wall, just at 32%. Then we can take a look at the ball flight. And so here's the thing, you're not going to get an exactly straight ball flight. It's always going to be some kind of S. An 18 miles an hour wind, the S is kind of crazy. It'll be like it'll start to go one way and then come back the other way. And you can see it here, it's going out to the right and it starts to kind of come back to the left. So we're modeling it so that it kind of lands straight and it goes straight. So again, it is an estimate. So you can see the ball flight again. So again, here's the ball flight one more time. So it's going to be a decently straight ball flight. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Let's look at another. Where in this situation it's very useful, and this Tour 10 hole, which is I call it a narrow. What do I call it? A cricket racket. So auto entry has put in the information for me for my elevation and slider. I'm entering the wind direction at 65 degrees and the wind strength 10.8. Setting up for this shot. Okay, it's going to require a little bit of underpower because I was searching for it. I'm applying a little bit under par. Look at the ball flight. And then I'll talk about it in detail after the shot. So on this hole, you have to counter curl. And so this would be ideal to use the curl indicator. Okay, but let's go back. So the curl indication is 46%. Oh, but I actually want to show you one important thing here. Okay. And that is right here. The navigator only has one side spin, so I use no moving target here. The side spin isn't enough to bring it back towards the hole. In fact, so it's still a little right of the hole. And the wind is going from right to left. So it says I need 46% of curl to keep it straight, but I don't want to keep it straight. I want it to just still go a little left. So I'm gonna, when I make the shot, I go slightly less than 46%. So yeah, if you remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. 1 to 3 deals with the inner out and the outer wall. And then 4 is where the ball is the same as the outside of the wedge. And 5 is half ball, or where the trail is just inside the arrow. So again, so I'm not going to go to 46. I'm going to go slightly less so that I can get the ball to curl left. And oh yeah, let me just go to the curl. Sorry. So I'm hunting. I'm looking for it. Okay, so I went to 40%, which is where the ball is equal with the outside of the wedge. I didn't want to go to the full 46%. And then we can check the ball flight.
Perfect shot.
So yeah, it's always going to have that slight S feature. But this one more so because I did want it to come a little more left. So let's look at the ball flight again.
Perfect shot. Perfect shot.
Yeah, that's it. It's a curl indicator. Again, it is an estimated model, but I actually started to develop it because I was having you get a very hard time in winds from 15 to 18 miles per hour, and you do need to apply curl against the wind a lot of times. And so this proves very helpful. It can also be very useful on drives or just shots in general, because the curl indicator will let you know at what point you need to pass to make your ball curl against the wind. So if you're setting up for a drive and say right to left wind, you know how much curl you need to pass at least to get your ball going to the right, or the opposite. If you're in a left to right drive wind, the curl indicator will tell you how much you need to curl left to get past that so your ball can actually start turning left. So that's also extremely useful as well. So there you go, curl indicator for version 10.4. Okay, thanks.